Fragments of Silicon will be feeling back to normal one of these days.
Welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I am you, the
Lost
noodles
an
of.
entire sentence.
Oh, bloody hell. Can you. All right, we'll try this again. Let me go reset
All right.
my router.
Wonderful. I love showbiz. It's my passion.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
You know, like when you want it to work and then it just fails in the least spectacular way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's been wrong with Adam's internet. He's been having this for a couple weeks. And it's not Discord, at least for Gullix and I, because we've not been having issues.
Maybe just a dip somewhere.
I have no idea.
Hello?
Hopefully you are functional.
Yes. Well, I reset, so hopefully that did the trick.
Alrighty. I'm going to get back into position.
Mm-hmm.
Gullix, are you ready?
Sure.
Alright, countdown when ready.
All right, we can begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fragments of Silicon will be feeling back to normal one of these days.
Oh, I'm your host, Adam. As
Lost
always,
an entire sentence again.
okay. Bloody hell. That means I have to go deeper. I have to go reset the modem.
Yeah.
So
That's gonna take like 90 seconds. Ask me how I know. Technical support is my passion. He says, screaming with his IT support certification. You know, if this is an April Fool's joke by Adam, it's very awful. uh... At least you can at least do some Star Fox in the background while we wait. Ah, he lives.
He's back.
Let's not speak too soon here. Uh, Seems to be stabilized. I mean,
Alrighty.
I've reset just about everything.
Okay, it always seems stable until you just drop for like several seconds. But
Right.
also, this is the last time I'm doing the intro.
Alright.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. We got to get a move on one way or another.
Alright. That goes away. Alright. I am ready when you guys are. You may count down when ready.
All right. We can begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fragments of Silicon will be back to feeling normal one of these days.
Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me as always are Petty and Golix. Petty, what do you got for news this week?
Well, Mom's still in the hospital, so that's not great. I did have to help them scan the tax documents to get that squared away to send them in to the lady who we usually have prepare our taxes. Mom thinks she has those put out in the mail. Well, not in email. So hopefully that's all fine and dandy. I also ordered a fan, like a fan heater combo for my room because my old fan, the bearing was shot and it was really loud. So I figured, why not just upgrade to, one unit? I don't have to keep swapping it out every few months. Got out of the box, tried to turn it on, and it kept jerking itself to a stop and messing with it. Screws fell out, so I need to contact Amazon and see about getting that replaced. So that's fun. And as far as like gaming goes, we beat the main story of Digimon Story Time Stranger Friday, so all that's left for now is the downloadable content, which I already have. We just need to do it. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. It honestly should probably take maybe a single evening because I've heard they're not that long. So, and then we'll be figuring out what else we're going to play. As far as pickups go, I haven't really picked up anything new this week. I have been trying to use the Gamefly's Keep feature to just buy Sonic Crossworlds, but for some reason they say they need to reconfirm my card, which is real weird because they literally just took the money out of my account for the subscription. So I'm like, okay. So that's a tomorrow problem. And I guess the other big thing is my sister and I have been needing to clean the house, partly because this weekend is our town has a free dump weekend where as long as you have paid personal property tax, which we do, you have free access to the dump for 2 days in the first weekend or the first week of October and April. So we're going to take our stuff, take the broken down things that need to go to the dump that would cost us too much to have the regular trash pickup, and we're just gonna go haul it off to the dump. Which coincides really well with Monday. We need to talk to somebody from the state about if my sister and I qualify for basically it's kind of like a home health care thing, but you can enroll your parents in it. We don't need to hire somebody outside or like a family member. So basically, mom and dad will get paid to help take care of us, which will help with the bill situation as well. So that's helpful. Apologies. But yeah, other than that, I'd like to go down and play Digimon, the card game, at some point, but just life is busy. Gulix, you're next. Gulix, are you muted? Or am I?
I was muted.
Okay. I thought, was I just talking to the void? Am I gonna come
No, and
back into the
Adam
call and get
left and
yelled at?
came back. Anyway,
No,
what's it called when you are sick and then recovering from one sickness and then get another cold? I don't know what it's called, but it sucks.
We call that hell in the business.
Cause yeah, it's for the same reason as last time. After my cousin was born, my mom brought back another cold from my sister's house. This is just an ordinary cold, but it is compounding with my recovering from the RSV and bacterial thing from the time before, so I'm still in coughing hell. I'm hoping it'll get better soon, because I'm about sick of it. Otherwise, I don't think there's really that much going on.
Nifty.
I've been playing Super Robot Wars Y, trying to make progress in that. Oh, and the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection has come out, and I got it on Steam, but I'm thinking about trying to get the physical copy on Switch if I can get it with, I think I have a gift card to one of the local places.
I mean, I guess if you feel you need physical, don't you have a Steam Deck?
Yes, I just might like to have a physical one.
Fair, like, yeah, that would be why you would get that then. Fair enough.
Right.
Because like me, I don't have a Steam Deck, so if I wanted to play it portably, it's like, do I want to get the Steam version or the Switch version?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm kind of been interested in those, but it's just never been able to actually play them on real hardware, so I don't have a frame of reference on if I want
I
them or
played them
not.
back mostly in the later part of Star Force 3 being active.
Yeah. At that
Um,
point, my DS was broken, and I didn't have the money to get a new one.
but
So
even then, this is still worth it because this version includes several features that were dummied out of the various releases, especially the US releases.
didn't they have Battle Network crossovers that were removed for the Western release?
The Battle Network crossovers were left in the
Hmm.
first two games. They were pretty brief scenes, but you had to have any Battle Network game in the DS's Game Boy slot. Those were left in. It's just a scene where you meet Mega Man and
Right.
get a weapon inspired by the Battle Network Buster gun, which works, of course, nothing like it. It's a really fast, low power shooter.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like the
yeah,
Battle Network Buster.
yeah. The first one had a crossover with the DS Boktai game, which was localized here as Lunar Nights.
Oh.
That was fully removed. Like they had Boktai crossovers in the last 3 Star Force games, or in the last 3 Battle Network games. That was like a special brother band, and I think a boss fight.
Ah.
I don't remember exactly how it worked. So yeah, that was put in. Uh, all of the games had at least one battle card that was. Adam, are you okay?
I think he's having connection issues.
Okay. Each game had at least one card that you got by literally going to an event and downloading it. Those are just available from a thing. And then for the second and third games, in Japan, they sold collectible card packs.
Hmm.
the cards had holes punched in them, and you went to a certain menu in the game and poked the DS stylus through the holes on the card in a certain order to get a certain thing.
That's an interesting way to do like passwords like
It
that.
had everything from giving you items and cards to temporarily transforming you into a more powerful form until the game turned off in the second one. In the second one, they didn't sell the cards here, but they did sell a book version. They'd also sold this in Japan that came with a template card and just the full list of all the cards and the things. Oh, you could also use it to like transform a certain enemy to a stronger version so you could fight it.
Hmm.
In the third game, they had they had like an even more elaborate system. But since everyone had just looked up the second one's codes on the internet, because frankly, it was not that hard,
Yeah.
and you didn't actually need the card overlay thing.
Yeah. It turns out if you have a
Um,
steady hand, you could reproduce it.
right. Well, the first one was actually a pretty good, well-defined grid. That was even easier. The second one just uses like a Starfield background, so it's a little bit harder to figure out, but it's not actually hard.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the third one, they just fully dummied out all of the functions except for the simplest one, which is related to the white card system,
Hmm.
which is basically you can get 4 bonus cards added to your
Huh.
folder that you can select at any time because they're white. Which has been a thing in all the other games too, but in this one they're only available in those sets of 4. They left in the ability to normally you can get them by going to places in game and getting a set based on the location. But you can enter the thing and just get better ones. But they are in this version, they're all included. Unfortunately, because I do kind of enjoy the taps, they're just selectable from a menu. But I appreciate the idea there. So this version of the Star Force is probably worth playing even if you played them back in the day.
Hmm.
Because it has stuff that was literally left out, is what I was getting at. I think that's all I had left. And now I'm going to stop talking because I'm probably going to start coughing.
Duly noted. I guess it's my go.
Yep.
I really don't have news this week.
Other than your connection is ass. It sounds like you have shifted over to
Yeah,
phone.
I'm resetting the laptop now.
Hmm.
I'm like, so,
That's fun.
you know, it's really not,
Yeah.
because it
Fair.
just seems to be a low signal issue, and I don't know how to fix that.
I mean, the definitive way to fix it would be a wire, but obviously that's not very easy in most situations.
No, especially with a laptop. I'm not even sure if that has that option.
If it's the one you sent me, I believe it does have a Ethernet cable.
All right. Hello?
There you go.
All right.
You sound better at least, so I'm guessing you went to your laptop.
On for a bit.
Hmm.
So, hopefully, with a full system refresh, there will be no more interruptions on my end.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms, uh, so with that in mind, and given what time it is, we got to move over to the interview.
Yep.
And on that note, we will be welcoming Jean-Pierre of Crimson Cloud Games to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Uh, no problem, no problem. How are you doing today?
Uh, getting better. Still recovering from a cold. So apologies if I cough. I'm trying to keep it under control. Other than that, uh, my day job is sucking the soul out of me, but that's how we do it. We drudge on. On the game development side, it's going great.
I mean, that's good at least. And we will be
Yeah, at least I
diving-
have something.
and yeah, so we'll be diving into that. And we start basically at the beginning.
Sure.
Both on a
Yeah, Adam, I think you're still having problems. So I guess I'll start with the question since Adam's having technical failures. Our usual first question is what got you interested in gaming or in game development both personally and professionally?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I love games. I used to spend hours, like 6, 8, 12 hours on my off days just gaming. That was before I had responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I kind of got tired of like waiting for good games. It seems to me like the industry's been the games have been like the quality and the fun is just going down over the years. So yeah, I decided why wait for someone to make something that I want to play? Let's just make it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know that old saying, if you want something done, do it yourself. Now, I do not have enough knowledge to be able to say that I know enough to correct any problems that there are in the industry, but at least I can make something that is fun. My goal is to make something that is fun. That's on the personal side. Professional side, I actually didn't even study software development or game development in university. I'm learning as I'm going, and I found that this way of doing it is the best way for me. Like I learn a lot more by actually doing it. And professionally, I feel like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. If I have to look into the future, like see where am I at in 5 years or 10 years, seeing myself doing game development, that's very, very appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
yeah, personally and professionally, yeah.
And how long ago did you make the jump? You know, how long have you been developing games for now?
I registered my studio in February of 2025, actually. Um, I've dabbled in game development in Unity during COVID years, like trying to like get the feel of it. But officially, like going full steam ahead, February of 2025.
Now is this like personal dabbling, or did you like do support for any other indie devs?
Just personal dabbling. Like, see, is this difficult? Like,
Mm.
how are things done? How do they approach it? And then when I actually started in February of last year, I made a complete 180. I decided I'm not going to do Unity. I want to do Unreal Engine. But most of the core concepts are transferable.
Mm.
So, stuff that you would do in Unity, like folder structures, the boring stuff, most of those things are transferable.
Right.
So what precipitated the registering of a website and making a professional go of it?
Actually, so from the start, my idea was to do this professionally. I met someone online. He's called Ronnie. He's a nice guy, and he suggested, "Hey, it would be easier for you and better if you like consolidate all of your marketing or outreach from one place." And then that got me thinking, yeah, that will make my life easier because I do not have to post or have like 10 tabs open on my internet browser just to get something done. Just do it from one location. That is what made me decide do the website and then take it from there. So on the website, you will see all the games that I'm working on at the moment, and I'll just add them as I go.
Indeed, and at recording time, I see 4 games here.
Yes. I can quickly mention all of them and the reasons for them if you guys want. I know that we are focusing on Ashes of the Damned and Roll or Die, but I can quickly just give a rundown of the other two
Okay.
and in like a one sentence. So my first attempt at game development professionally is Factory Reset, and that is a product of inexperience and scope creep, and I need a bigger team to do that. So I've put that one on hold until I'm at a point where I can hire people to help me, or until I have more experience to reliably uh, get a good result. I Am Coffee is the next one that is coming up after Roll or Die, and it's a comedy. I want to make people laugh in this one, and the reason why I'm doing different genres is not for the sake of I'm trying to figure out what is the best solution for me. It's very simple. I want to learn how this industry works, and the best way in doing that, in my opinion, and what works for me is learn by doing. So making games in different genres, you learn how these genres work, and then you can improve your own development while you're doing it. But Ashes of the Damned is the flagship product that I'm currently working on with a publisher.
Okay. But before we get to that, it's probably best to get to Roll or Die here, because that is the one that is released, albeit in
Yes,
early
yes.
access.
Yeah. That's
Um,
right.
So I'd say, for the uninitiated, what is Roll or Die?
Yeah, okay. So Roll or Die is a fast-paced physics arcade game focused on movement, control, and quick reactions. The concept is simple, really, but actually surviving and mastering it takes skill, or that was my idea when I designed it. I designed it around quick restarts and continuous improvements. So players can jump in for a short session and immediately try to beat their previous run or try to climb the leaderboard. Something like something you can pass the time with. Like the idea in my mind was if you're on a long flight, you've got that screen in front of you on a long flight, and then you at some point you get sick and tired of all the all the movies, and then you move over to the games, and that is the reason why Roll or Die exists, and also to learn more.
Yeah, I think it's important to point that out because, from the first look of things, it looks like a riff off of Super Monkey Ball, Monkey Madness, one of those deals. Where you're
Yeah,
rolling
yeah.
through a ball through a arena that's basically, it's basically a either puzzle game or a get to the end sort of, how fast you can reach the end in amount of time. But that this game isn't that um,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
any
no.
mode.
Yeah, no. This game, I try to get different players, like try to cast a big umbrella so that more than one type of player enjoys it. So the three different game modes that are in there at the moment. The first one is really just you need to survive as long as you possibly can with the falling tiles. The endless runner is a normal classic endless runner. The third one, the obstacle course, that was heavily inspired by Jacksepticeye's Happy Wheels series. Hilarious. And then the fourth mode that I'm currently working on is kind of like the first one, but the tiles have different rules. So you'll have tiles that fall faster, or that stay longer, or that make you roll faster for a certain amount of time, or make you roll slower. But the goal is like really try to beat the high score, your own, and then try to climb the leaderboard,
Okay,
which is global,
and
which is a global leaderboard.
makes sense. Anyway, so this game has been out in early access since January 1st of this year, apparently.
Yes.
So, how has it been faring so far since, it's had a couple of months to be on the market?
Yeah. So the performance of the game, I've had a few players that really stuck. I have a speedrunner that absolutely he breaks the possibility of what can be done. I didn't even know what could be done in the game until I saw what that speedrunner did. And then I have the odd other two, three players that really, really enjoy the game. Um, but for the most sake, I think financially or commercially, the game is not doing good because I didn't do marketing before I launched. I pushed it into the void without any marketing. So commercially, not a success. Personally, in my opinion, I do not see it as a failure because I learned so much.
Hmm.
I learned how the process goes from pre-production, the idea in your head, going all the way through to self-publishing on Steam. Like Ashes has the publisher, so a lot of what I'm learning or hearing from them, that is industry knowledge and experience that they've gained over the many years that they've been doing this. But I also want to be able to say that I'm learning how to do it myself as well, because in the future, I would also like to publish more games by myself, not only rely on publishers.
Hmm.
So, Roll or Die, personally, in my opinion, is a success because it taught me how to go from idea to release, specifically early access, and then pushing updates to full release. That's actually the reason why I didn't just wait and pushed until the game was done. I wanted to go from early access so that I can see what are the pitfalls, what what do I need to look out for future games that I'm making.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's not surprising, given your starting at basically the beginning of, the bottom of the industry, so to speak. As in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you are a neophyte in every regard, not just, oh, you were working at a AAA publisher for 10 years or something like that, and then jumped into the indie stream, or you worked in a field adjacent, um or maybe that is case a little bit, but the point is you're gaining the video game knowledge. I think we just had
exactly.
some game devs who are doing basically the same thing, though in a different fashion.
Well, you figure,
Yeah.
Adam, post-COVID, a lot of people are, getting their projects finally coming to fruition now. So
Right.
you figure solo indie dev, it's not uncommon to take 5-6 years to do a full project.
It depends on the size of the project,
Fair.
and so on and so forth. Like I said, your average indie project, just going on the barometer of this show, 2 to 3 years. So, COVID time projects came out a few years back.
Yeah.
Like,
or they got at least the taste of the blood from that and was like, oh, I want to continue, and they're working on their second, maybe third game.
Right. So
I actually didn't have any like industry adjacent experience. I'm an ESL teacher. I studied education. So making the move from an ESL teacher to game dev is quite a big jump, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is challenging. It is super hard, but I absolutely love the entire process of it. Absolutely. I love it. And that's why it's easy for me to say, if I have to look at myself in 5 years' time doing this, that's very, very easy. That's really easy to do.
That is the vein we usually tap into with these interviews. We look for the passion, because that's usually the spark that drives the creation of indie games. Especially like at the the beginning solo dev angle.
Yeah.
Here's the honest truth. Like, there's a high percentage, a very high percentage that your average indie dev is never going to be successful. They're never going to find that Slay the Spire, or insert Silk Song, et cetera, et cetera. The really big indie hit that sold millions of copies and set their developer up for life.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of the statistic.
Yeah, that's always good, because if if you're coming into game dev, especially indie game dev, looking to strike it rich, the odds are against you.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy that when I decided to actually put some effort into this and put some money behind it, the idea was really not to get rich. Well, not for the first 5 years at least. My primary goal right now is learn as much as I can. That's number one, so that the result is I can make games that players actually enjoy. Because ultimately, of any game, I don't care what game you're making, the ultimate goal is the player should have fun. It's about the player. But I do not know enough of the industry to be able to produce something right now. So I need to learn. The best way of learning is doing. And that's why my games still have bugs. But that's okay. Like, I appreciate the support that I'm getting at this early stage, and it sets me up for great success in the future. And that's my mindset that I'm having. Do not focus on so much on now. Focus on what the future will be. And that's what my mindset is. Obviously, making money is a big part of it, but the industry is really hard. Like you said, most indies do not make it. I think the statistic is like 95% of indies fail. Commercially, they fail because of numerous factors. So yeah, I agree with you. If the mindset is going into the industry with no experience and you're just trying to make money, good luck. And I really do hope those indie devs the best of luck if that is their goal. But I want to learn so that I can make games that players enjoy.
Yeah. Well, shifting back to Roll or Die, so how much longer do you think it's going to be in early access?
Yeah, so that is actually a very easy to answer from my side. I am pushing for the 0.6 update in April. I'm going to push that in April, close to the end of April. And then I hope to go to 1.0 in latest by July. I have a lot of free time. So I have a lot of time that I can push into game development. Luckily, I'm very lucky in this regard, in the fact that I have a day job and I can push out games. I would say my day job is my part-time job, but not actually. It's a full-time job because yeah, educating kids is it's taxing. But yeah,
So I've heard.
latest my plan is for Roll or Die to hit 1.0 in July of this year.
And outside the fourth mode, is there anything else that's going to be added, like different skins, different layouts for the arena, and so on and so forth?
Those updates will come after 1.0 release. Like I said, just getting from idea to fully released game was the goal. And once I'm at 1.0, then I can push the extra skins. I do have extra skins planned, different tile types. I also want to add personal best runs, like statistics that you can access inside of the game, not only through Steam, but inside the game. And then I also would really like to add like community levels, like just give it to the community and let them make the levels and then have players play what the community made. So those are coming, but those will happen after 1.0.
Okay. And have you looked into bringing Roll or Die to other platforms like mobile?
Yes, I am actually thinking about that, but not at the moment, because I do not know how to even approach porting. So that would mean I have to go outside, like with a company, and they are not cheap, as far as I'm seeing. They're not cheap, which is okay. I can understand that, but at the moment, no. The first port will be to mobile because I want to have the ball movement influenced by the phone. So have the phone, if you tilt the phone, the ball moves. And then after that, it would be PlayStation and then Xbox.
Okay.
So the plans
Okay.
are there.
And finally, on Roll or Die, are there any plans to increase the price when it reaches 1.0?
Yes, there will be one more price increase. At the current moment, it is set at $2.99. For full release, it will be $3.99. And that first week, when full release is launched, I will have a 20% discount for 7 days. But
Okay.
after that, I will not increase the price at all. It will stay at $3.99 forever.
Good to know. All right, so Ashes of the Damned, which has been in the background here. So once again, what is this game?
Yeah, so Ashes. I'm really proud of this one, because I poured a lot of myself into it. But anyway, yeah. So Ashes of the Damned is planned as a 4-part horror series. The Forgotten Ward, which is this one, is the first entry. It's a psychological horror, first-person psychological horror, set in 1950s abandoned asylum. And the experience is built around layered fear. So combining the atmosphere, exploration, and the encounters to create the tension that builds over time. Um, So that's the thing that stands out why Ashes is supposed to be different. It's the three-layered fear. And the main goal of this game is to introduce the players to the world that I'm building. It sets up the second game, the third, and the fourth.
Okay.
It's like, think of it as the Dark Pictures anthology, where they have different titles, but it all exists in one universe.
Oh, oh yeah, the Dark Pictures games, the like I guess QTE type things. I vaguely heard
Yeah,
about them.
a brilliant series.
Mm.
The difference between them and me, obviously, they have a bigger team. I'm only one, and they went for a kind of cinematic style game,
Right,
whereas mine deals with other themes.
right.
It's not cinematic at all. I want players to be in the trenches, as you would say.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this game is supposed to set up the world for the planned four part,
I
and
was wondering. Go ahead.
Yeah.
each of them handles different themes. So Ashes of the Damned is about consequences and karmic punishment, guilt and regret. The second one, which is Ashes of the Damned, is the series name, and then the second one would be the pulpit, and then the third one would be the playground, and then the fourth is the weighing. All of them, the overarching theme is karmic punishment, but each one focuses on something different.
And what is Ashes of the Dam focused on?
Ashes of the Damned. Do you mean the overall series, or if the Forgotten Ward specifically?
Yeah, the Forgotten Ward specifically.
Yeah. So the Forgotten Ward focuses on regret, consequences, and like the idea of your choices matter. I don't want to say too much because it's going to spoil the game, but the idea is consequences happen. There are. So specifically for Ashes, the layered experience, the fear layer, the layered fear experience is what's going to induce that sense of guilt and the consequences that the player will experience throughout the game.
What sort of consequences?
Like, again, I don't want to spoil too much, but uh, the idea is the player needs to figure out what happened. Something happened in the asylum many years ago, and the player is there to find out what happens. So the consequences will be made or will be shown to the player as they go through the game. So you don't understand the consequences at first, but as the game progresses, as you go through finding the patient files and the collectibles, the player will start to understand, okay, something happened here, and this is the story, and this is how it's supposed to make me as the player feel.
And how do I put this? Does this follow the indie tradition of being defenseless and having to hide in closets and all that stuff?
Defenseless, yes. Hiding, absolutely not. There's no escaping. You have to go through the experience. But yeah, it is defenseless for the specific purpose of the three-layered fear system that I've built or still working on is experienced best by being defenseless.
Now, are you using a sanity meter?
I've got a fear meter.
Okay.
So in the game right now, you'll find that there's a constant heartbeat sound that the player can hear. And as soon as you open the map, that heartbeat is faster. And that sound triggers a lot of things.
So I guess, quote unquote enemy can also hear it as well.
Yes. Yes. The enemy, the constant enemy. There are multiple types of enemies. The constant one is blind, and it can only hear the player. So that's why the heartbeat mechanic exists.
I think I've seen that somewhere before, but definitely not one of the more often used systems in horror games. And
Yeah, and that is one aspect of it. The second aspect is so the constant fear, the constant entity that stalks you throughout the asylum. So that's the first layer. The second layer is getting to know the lore, the backstory of the people that were in here. That's where the psychological fear comes from. And then the third layer is the, oh my goodness, kind of realization of the entire story, the narrative. That's the third part. When you go through the encounters, as I call them, with the other entities, the other enemies.
And how much does darkness play in this game?
Could you say that again? I just heard darkness in this game. I didn't hear the first part.
Apologies. How much does darkness play in this game? Like, do you have to fiddle with light in any capacity?
Yes, you do. So first of all, you have your flashlight, but then I'm also thinking of adding other light elements in specific parts, like distracting the entity that is maybe close by, distracting it by turning on a light in a different area. But that mechanic is not fully fledged out yet. It's just I'm still in the creating
I need to understand what
phase
happened
of that function.
Maybe if I look around, I'll remember.
But your main tool is your flashlight.
Okay. And how do you balance developing Ashes of the Damned against Roll or Die?
Very easy. Like I said, I have about 61 hours that I push into game development a week. The other 20 hours is taken up by my day job. So how I do it is I would work on Ashes for maybe like a week, 2 weeks, and then I would need something like an asset, like one of the entities. I outsource those because I'm not good at art. So the modeling of the enemies, I outsource them, and that takes about 12 to 14 days, depending on the complexity of the entity. And then while I'm waiting for that, I'll flip over to Roll or Die and do a sprint with that. Because Roll or Die, the scope it's quite easy. The systems are already there. At this current moment, it's basically just reproduce and change variables here and there to get a different feel or a different result.
And how, what's the state of Ashes of the Damned?
Yeah.
Like,
So at the current moment,
mm-hmm.
At the current moment, the demo is out. I would like to do some bug fixing and some more polishing on the demo before the next fest in June. And then the entities are almost completely finished. I have all the collectibles. I have all the patient files, the story, the narratives. I have all of those. I'm now only waiting on the last few entities,
Okay.
and then just bring them, just bring them into the game. The entities, the collectibles, they're already in.
Any sort of release window?
I don't want to be too specific, but I'm looking at a Q4 release.
All right, then. So I think I've asked my gamut of questions. Anything further from you two?
I'm good.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm good. Sorry about that. I was muted. I was also coughing.
All right. Well, Jean, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule and being with us here today. It was
Thank you for
lovely
the
having a
invitation.
conversation. Indeed. Just wish the connection was a bit stronger today. But we've managed to power through it. Right. So the games are Roll or Die and Ashes of the Damned, The Forgotten Ward. Both games have Steam pages. You can buy Roll or Die right now. It's available for $2.99 USD. And The Forgotten Ward can be wishlisted. Be sure to go and do that, as that helps the game get discovered. And Petty, play us to the next segment. All right, so welcome to the topic of discussion. So this week we are talking about Star Fox. I'm not going to presage this with spoilers.
Yeah.
I know some people are
Because
still
Star
doing
Fox
that.
had one story that really worked, and they sold it like 3 or 4 times, of which like 2 of those actually did well. And then it has a bunch of contentious sequels.
Yes. But the main reason we're talking about it this week is because out of nowhere, Fox McCloud was announced via poster to be basically the special guest star of the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Apparently, Glenn Powell sold them on this.
I'm not gonna lie. When I
Yeah.
first saw it, I thought it was a shit post. I
I'm
thought it
like,
was somebody's AI shit post, and I was like, "The hell?"
yeah. It took until me telling you that it was real that you realized it was real. I'm like, yeah, and also apparently, it apparently took years and years to get Star Fox into the movie. I'm not sure I quite believe that.
Yeah.
And also,
Like, on the face of it, it's not that awkward of a fit because it's Galaxy, they're already in space.
right.
Sort of.
That's. I mean, they were convinced enough to do it. Okay. And I'm sure the thing that was said not on the record, because it's been in the interviews, why Fox is in the movie. It's also because Star Fox hasn't done jack shit in 10 years. Now,
I guess depending on if you want to count the I guess official release of Star Fox 2 or not.
I really don't. that is the latest release in the technical sense, but it is just a ROM that they had laying about for literal decades. Like no, and plus it was something used to promote something for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
It wasn't a brand new game that had modern development attached to it. And that's really the problem Star Fox has run into since the GameCube era. Because if you don't know who Fox McCloud is, if you don't know what Star Fox is, it's a rail shooter. And here's the thing. Rail shooters kind of lost any sort of ground in the 2000s.
The first one is a full rail shooter. The 64 is a mostly rail shooter.
It's rail shooter enough that I would classify it as a rail shooter, but like even then, they were branching out from just being a rail shooter. Not just having R-Wings either. 64 added the Landmaster and the Blue Aquarius. I think that's what that submarine. The submarine.
Right, Blue Marine.
Blue Marine. That's what it was.
Slippy doesn't think of cool names.
Right. The point is they were mixing up. Like I remember people getting pissed off at the Landmaster because it wasn't an R-Wing. And yes, the Landmaster and the Blue Marine, they are lesser vehicles than the R-Wing, but they mix things up well enough, I think.
To be clear, there is one stage for the Blue Marine, although it is absolutely required to get the good ending, I believe. And
it is.
Like 2 stages for the Landmaster that are on different routes.
Yes. They don't occupy a whole lot of space either.
There are also notably one of each of those alternate vehicles. Fox pilots whatever the unique one was. On the Landmaster stage, your teammates are still flying around in R-Wing, allegedly supporting you, but, needing your help more often than the other way around. And in the Blue Marine stage, they're just not fucking there.
Well, they can't be because they're all in the Blue Marine.
No, I'm pretty sure you're the only one in it. Could be wrong, though.
Either or. But, when we get to the GameCube era, okay, Star Fox Adventures is its own unique clusterfuck. That was literally Miyamoto going, the co-main character there looks a bit like Fox. Actually looks quite a bit like Fox. What if we just forced the Star Fox IP onto this game?
Yeah.
And and we get Star Fox Adventures, which is not something that was built to be a Star Fox game.
I was wrong. You are correct. The Blue Marine has a crew of 4. I
thought
everybody is there.
Anyway, so Star Fox Adventures, was a third-person adventure game in the style of Zelda that had jack all to do with Star Fox until the change was made. And then afterwards, it was really apparent that it had nothing to do with Star Fox. Because all the Star Fox elements are crowbarred in.
At this point, Adventures is retroactively better integrated into the canon than some of the stuff they've done since then, so...
Well, that's another question. What is the canon of Star Fox? Because, they literally wiped the slate clean because Star Fox...
I shouldn't say into the canon. Well, I'll rephrase that. Almost every game that takes place chronologically after that does still have Crystal in it. And Tricky shows up a couple of times, I think.
Once again, what is the canon? Because Star Fox 2 was supposed to be the canon, but that was wiped away because that was not released until the Super Nintendo Classic. And that contains characters that have not been seen since. So
I think
I'm
if it
like,
was, VTuber fellow played this recently. So I played Star Fox 64 recently. So I've been looking. So I think if it were in the canon, 2 would actually take place between 1 and 64, or no,
okay,
1 and whatever comes after, because 64 is mostly a remake of 1.
to it right now, the canon is Star Fox and only Star Fox. Like, because we got Star Fox Zero, another remake, reimagining,
Yeah, but
something
that
of,
crashed so hard that I doubt we're going to see much following up from it. Like
maybe
even
so, but
even
until,
even if
maybe
slash when they do
so,
make more games, I doubt they'll take much into account from that.
maybe so, but that is the latest game, and that is what we have to go off of right now. You know, so right now, Slippy's uncle works in a tower defense operation.
Well, none of that stuff is really contradictory. The main issue with Zero is the fact that Andros is experimenting with time fuckery instead of just really, really weird bioweapons.
Like, once again, Star Fox Zero is the official canon right now, if only by virtue of it being the latest game. Like, or if we want to go with Petty's suggestion, Star Fox 2 is the canon because that is the latest game. My point is the GameCube era hasn't been visited since 2007. With a
Well, that's
DS
because the
game, no less.
further you get from the Lilac Wars, the less anyone has any fucking clue what they're doing story-wise. They just don't know how to have these characters go on, especially since they
That
destroyed
is
they destroyed
that
the
is
Red
incorrect.
Fox.
No, that is incorrect. Star Fox Command fucking sunk Star Fox.
That's
And it
what
has
I'm
to do with
saying. I'm
no,
saying
no.
that the story developments in Assault and Command were things that they regret and don't know how to go on from.
I'm not sure if they regret, but they may regret Star Fox Adventures. That's the key here because they just did a fucking number on Crystal in Command. To the point where she's unsalvageable as a character. Like, they, for whatever reason, hated her and just did all sorts of questionable things at best to her character. Like, ugh. So,
What, you mean the magic dinosaur princess is an awkward fit on the fucking space starfighter team?
no, I mean the romance shit. Like, her going off to Star Wolf or whatever the fuck was going on there. And
She had a hard time fitting in Star Fox, and I think got into a fight with Fox, so she left the team for a while, and then Panther like hit on her, and she went with him for a while or something, because he's a sexy Hispanic leopard man.
yeah, and it's also a question of what is the canonical ending to this game, because in one of the things she goes off and becomes a emotionally dead bounty hunter called Cursed. And
Well,
Star
there are
Fox
like 12 different. That's the other thing. You can't. It's really hard to
yeah,
follow up Command because there are like 12 widely divergent endings to it.
yeah. So that was why I think they said, especially Miyamoto said, you know what, we're just going back to the beginning, back to basics.
Well, and that's what I mean
And
is that the one story of the team of Star Fox saving the Lilat system from Andross's attack is the one story they know that works. They kind of managed to pull off the Aperoid invasion, I guess, as just, oh no, it's another weird alien force, but they made that part of fucking Andross's experiments anyway, I believe. No, wait, the Aperoids were actually aliens. It was the fucking things in Command that turned out to be Andross's shit anyway.
yeah, yeah, I like Assault has its problems. Somehow it's even more awkward with its not Star Fox sections than Star Fox Adventures were. And I know where things went wrong. It's the same thing that happened with Rogue Squadron 3, Jedi Strike. I.e., Star Fox Assault was done by the Ace Combat team at Namco, which is why the on-rail sections are really good. But it's why all of the on foot, on tank, anything on the ground is really awkward and clunky and bad. Because you took...
Remember, the Landmaster can fly a little.
Hovering is not...
I know, it's not as good, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Even with that, you still have a little bit of a flight option, and making it more grounded than that would be bad.
My point is, okay, you have a team whose specialty is flight, and then you have them go and make ground sections, a brand new gameplay style that they've never done before, and it works out about as well as you'd expect in both cases. It's just all very, very mediocre at best. And that's why people did not like Assault. But I will credit Assault for moving forward. And forward with the entire Corneria plot line, not being tied to Andros, outside of his nephew. My point is, they didn't pull ironically enough,
Star Fox in command.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Waikoni was in Assault a lot. It's his grandson that's in command.
Anyway, but yeah, it's been 10 years since Star Fox had a game. And I think it's reasonable to expect that there's going to be a Star Fox movie. Okay, maybe they're not building towards a Smash Brothers movie, but they're going to capitalize on this. It's like Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong has been much more attached to the Mario universe, but he's also very much his own character who can be spun off into its own universe, franchise, movie, what have you. And I think that is indeed happening with Donkey Kong. He's getting his own standalone film, which is why he's not in the Galaxy movie. So, Fox being in a Star Fox movie after getting the rub from this, because the opening box office numbers look to be very good, is a no-brainer on a few levels. And if Nintendo were smart, I think they are, they're going to have a Star Fox game out at, maybe not at the time, but they're going to have a new Star Fox game out. The bigger question is, what is it going to look like? And the concern is, what are they going to do to ruin it?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here, the big problem with Star Fox Zero wasn't really that they made Star Fox or Star Fox 64 again. No, it was being the last hope for the Wii U's control system.
It was an interesting idea, but it had way too high of a learning curve to be acceptable.
It also came out way too fucking late. It was a 2016 game. Year 4 of the Wii U. I guess technically year 3 because it released in fall of 2012, but still.
And we were less than a year away from the Switch?
Thereabouts, yeah, actually. But here's the thing: even if the Wii U hadn't crashed and burned like it did, that's still midlife of a console, at least until very recently. So you're still trying to sell the main gimmick of your system 3-4 years in. That is the the penultimate sign of failure. The ultimate sign of failure is the fact that the Switch came out in 2017. And indeed, if you look at the 2016 lineup of the Wii U, Nintendo was just in a holding pattern to make sure they had some until the Switch came.
Yeah. I think Adam may be having connection issues again.
It's good to see that Star Fox is back. And hopefully it will lead to Nintendo.
We did not get what it will lead to there.
Can you just game?
Adam, you're breaking up really bad. You might want to go back to the phone.
As a $67 product, fine.
We've
But you know what you
about
can
half
do?
of you for the
Do
last
it as a
3
$20
minutes.
downloadable game. That's an option these days. And people will be happy. Right. So I think that'll about do it for this topic of discussion, and indeed this episode of Fragments of Silicon. So coming up on the week ahead, we have a Friday reviews of Minarians, Living Dead House. Till next time, I shall wish you good gaming.
Adam, we lost all of that.
All of it?
All of it. We heard none of what you just...
We heard 2 of the games that we're reviewing.
Okay. So coming up, we have an MSP episode happening in a bit. We have the Friday show happening, but it's an MSP episode.
Yes, because that was my doing.
Yeah. So details on MSP, since we're branding it that. And finally, on the Sunday reviews, we'll be having reviews of Minarians. I don't really know how to pronounce this. It's apparently Catalonian, or I think it's Catalonian in origin. Anyway, Living Dead House, Gear Club Unlimited 3, and Basketball Classics. So until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.